Hi viewers, myself Dr. Steffi, Assistant Professor in Department of Microbiology, Kaveri College for Women, Autonomous Trichy. I would like to express my gratitude to the course director, Dr. N. Jebina Begum, for giving me an opportunity to deliver this lecture, and I would like to thank Indian Academic Researchers Association for providing me this great platform. Today's topic for discussion is Biomedical Nanotechnology, a rapidly developing field. Coming to the history of nanotechnology, the term nanotechnology was first coined by Professor Norio Taniguchi in the year 1974. Nanotechnology is nothing but it is defined as processing, separation, consolidation and deformation of materials by one atom or by one molecule. Now, what is a nanoparticle? Nano is derived from a Greek word nanos, meaning dwarf or small. And the dimension of the particle, it ranges from 1 to 100 nanometer. And we all know that what is a nanometer? It is 1 billionth of a meter, that is it is 10 to the power minus 9 per meter. Right now we'll see a simple example for nano. See, the population of India is 1 billion or 100 crores. But each Indian, that is you or me, is nano in comparison with the whole population of India. So, what is a biomedical nanotechnology? It is a cross-disciplinary area of research in science, engineering and medicine, which involves a broad range of applications in molecular imaging, molecular diagnosis and targeted therapy. This slide will give you an clear idea regarding the various applications of nanotechnology in biomedical field. And nanotechnology can be used in biomedical nano devices, diagnostics, biodetection of pathogens, advanced medical imaging, identification, security and logistics, lab-on-chip technology, drug targeting, nanomedicines, nanocoatings, disinfection, bio-nanosensors, controlled drug delivery, batteries with high energy storage, drug screening technologies, medical implants and tissue engineering. So it plays a major role in various fields and lot more. Now let us discuss the major role of nanotechnology in medical diagnosis. So what is a biomarker? Biomarker is a naturally occurring molecule or gene by which a particular pathological or physiological process of disease can be identified. And these biomarkers help in the early detection of cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, Alzheimer, AIDS and lot more. Coming to nano device or nano robots. The nanomedicine field make use of these nano robots which are introduced into the body to repair and detect damages and infections. Here you can have a look at a nano robot, and you can see the various parts of a nano robot. They have a micro camera, a payload, a capacitor, a swimming tail, etc. And nanomedicine is the medical application of nanotechnology. The approaches to nanomedicine ranges from medical use of nanomaterials to nanoelectric biosensors and even possible future applications of molecular nanotechnology. So coming to the nano robots, The image going to the doctor to get a treatment for a persistent fever, instead of giving you a pill or a shot, the doctor refers you to a special medical team which implants a tiny robot into your bloodstream. So, what is the role of this robot? This robot will detect the cause of your fever, and it travels to the appropriate system and it provides a dose of medication directly to the affected area. So surprisingly, we are not that far off from seeing devices like this actually used in medical procedures. They are called nanorobots, and engineering teams around the world are working to design robots that will eventually be used to treat everything from hemophilia to cancer. The somewhat speculative claims about the possibility of nanorobots in medicine, advocates say, would totally change the world of medicine once it is realized. Nanomedicine would make use of these nanorobots introduced into the body to repair or detect damages and infections. A typical blood-borne medical nanorobot would be between 0.5 to 3 micrometers in size, because that is a maximum speed possible due to capillary passage requirement. And carbon would be used as a primary element to build these nanorobots due to the inherent strength and other characteristics of some forms of carbon, and nanorobots would be fabricated in desktop nanofactories specialized for this purpose. To avoid being attacked by the host immune system, the best choice for the exterior coating is a passive diamond coating. The smoother and more flawless the coating, the less the reaction from the body's immune system. Such devices have been designed in recent years, but no working model has been built so far. Medical nano devices would first be injected into a human body and would then go to work in a specific organ or tissue mass. Here you can see a picture of a nanorobot, and it has various parts which include molecular sorting rotor, propellers, fins and sensors range. The doctor will monitor the progress and make certain that the nano device have gotten to the correct target treatment region. The doctor wants to be able to scan a section of a body and actually see the nano devices congregated neatly around the target, that is a tumor mass, etc., so that he or she can be sure that the procedure was successful. The powering of the nanorobots can be done by metabolizing local glucose and oxygen for energy. Communication with the device can be achieved by broadcast type acoustic signaling. A navigational network may be installed in the body with station keeping navigational elements, providing high positional accuracy to all passing nanorobots that integrate them and wanting to know their location. This will enable the physician to keep track of various devices in the body. These nanorobots will be able to distinguish between different cell types by checking their surface antigens. They are different for each type of cell. This is accomplished by the use of chemotactic sensors keyed to the specific antigens on the target cells. When the task of the nanorobots is completed, they can be retrieved by allowing them to exfuse themselves via the usual human excretory channels. Coming to the fields of applications. Some possible applications using nanorobots are as follows. To cure skin disease, a cream containing nanorobot may be used. It could remove the right amount of dead skin, remove excess oil, add missing oils, apply the right amount of natural moisturizing compounds, and even achieve the elusive goal of deep pore cleansing by actually reaching down into the pores and cleaning them out. This cream could be smart material with smooth on peel off convenience. A mouthwash full of smart nano machines could identify and destroy pathogenic bacteria while allowing the harmless flora of the mouth to flourish in a healthy ecosystem. Further, the devices would identify particles of food, plague, or tartar and lift them from teeth to be rinsed away. Being suspended in liquid and able to swim about, devices would be able to reach surfaces beyond reach of toothbrush bristles or the fibers of floss. A short lifetime medical nano devices, they could be built to last only a few minutes in the body before falling apart into materials of the sort found in foods such as fiber. Medical nano devices could augment the immune system by finding and disabling unwanted bacteria and viruses. When an invader is identified, it can be punctured, letting its content spill out and ending its effectiveness. If the content were known to be hazardous by themselves, then the immune machine could hold on it so long so to dismantle it more completely. Devices working in the bloodstream could nibble away at arteriosclerosis deposits. Widening the affected blood vessels, cell herding devices could restore artery walls and artery linings to health by ensuring that the right cells and supporting structures are in the right place. This would prevent most heart attacks. This slide speaks about the nanoparticle drug delivery in cancer therapy. Nanoparticles are the new identified tools by which we can deliver drugs into tumor cells with minimum drug leakage into normal cells. Conjugation of nanoparticles with ligands of cancer-specific tumor biomarkers is a potent therapeutic approach to treat cancer disease with a high efficacy. It has been shown that conjugation of nanocarriers with molecules such as antibodies and their variable fragments, peptides, nucleic acid, vitamins and carbohydrates can lead to effective targeted drug delivery to cancer cells and thereby treat cancer. Surgery, chemotherapy, radiotherapy and hormone therapy are the main common anti-tumor therapeutic approaches. However, the non-specific targeting of cancer cells has made these approaches non-effective in the significant number of patients. Non-specific targeting of malignant cells also makes indispensable the application of the higher doses of drugs to reach the tumor region. Therefore, there are two main barriers in a way to reach the tumor area with maximum efficacy. The first, inhibition of drug delivery to healthy non-cancerous cells, and the second, the direct conduction of drugs into the tumor site. Now let us see an animated video regarding the drug delivery to the cancer cells. Next is cantilevers. These are tiny levers anchored at one end and bind to altered DNA sequence or proteins that are present in certain types of cancer cells. When these molecules bind to cantilevers, surface tension changes, causing the cantilevers to bend. By monitoring the bending of the cantilevers, scientists can tell whether molecules are present, thus making it a potential tool for detecting cancer in its early stage. Now, what is a nanopore? They are tiny holes that allow DNA to pass through one strand at a time. Make DNA sequencing more efficient. As DNA passes through a nanopore, scientists can monitor the shape and electrical properties for each base or letter on this strand. Because these properties are unique for each of the 4 bases that make up the genetic code, scientists can use the passage of DNA through a nanopore to find the encoded information, including errors in the code known to be associated with the cancer. Coming to nanotubes. These nanotubes help to detect the presence of altered genes in DNA, and it pinpoints the exact location of those changes. Nanotubes are carbon rods about half the diameter of a molecule of DNA. The nanotube creates a map showing the shape of the DNA molecule, including the tags identifying important mutations. These techniques will be important in predicting diseases. This slide is about nanoshells. They are beads coated with gold. By manipulating the thickness of the layers making up the nanoshells, scientists can design these beads to absorb specific wavelength of light. These nanoshells bind to the cancer cells and absorb infrared rays that kill the cancerous cells, leaving the healthy cells undamaged. Moving to dendrimers. Nowadays, research is being done on a number of nanoparticles created to facilitate drug delivery. One such molecule with potential to link treatment with detection and diagnosis is known as dendrimers. Dendrimers are man-made molecules about the size of an average protein and have a branching shape. This shape gives them vast amount of surface area to which scientists can attach therapeutic agents or other biologically active molecules. Current slide elaborates about quantum dots. Another molecule that will be used to detect cancer is quantum dot. They are tiny crystals that glow when they are stimulated by UV light. The wavelength or color of the light depends on the size of the crystal. When these beads are stimulated by UV light, each bead emits light that serves as a sort of special spectral barcode identifying particular region of DNA. Coming to the role of nanotechnology in the process of tissue bioprinting. If a person is having an organ failure, this tissue bioprinting will help them to create a new organ. So in order to create a new organ, the blueprint of an organ with its vascular architecture is necessary. After creating the blueprint, we need to generate a bioprinting process plan. Then the stem cells are isolated, and the isolated stem cells are differentiated into organ-specific cells. Prepare a bioink reservoir with organ-specific cells, blood vessels and support medium and load them into the printer. Bioprint the organ and place the bioprinted organ in a bioreactor prior to transplantation. So this is an image showing the steps involved in the bioprinting of 3D tissues. So step 1, step 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. Step 1 involves imaging by X-ray, CT or MRI. Step 2 involves design approach by biomimicry, self-assembly or mini tissues. Step 3 involves material selection, synthetic polymers, natural polymer or ECM. Step 4 is cell selection, whether it is a differentiated cell, pluripotent stem cell or multipotent stem cell. Step 5 is bioprinting by various technology like inkjet, micro extrusion, laser assisted. And step 6 is application, after which is followed by maturation, implantation and in vivo testing. Coming to the role of nanotechnology in artificial cell technology. Engineered artificial cells can be used to replace dysfunctional cells in the human body, and it may be used in the future to treat various diseases like anemia, renal failure, bone defects and many other health problems. The nanocells can be of 3 types: macro, micron and nano. For genetically engineered cells, stem cells, other cells, tissues and microorganisms, the macro dimensions are used. For enzymes, genetically engineered microorganisms and other microorganisms, peptides, etc., macron dimension is used. For blood substitutes, enzymes, peptides, magnetic materials and drugs, the nano dimension is used. So this image shows an artificial cell, and the contents are already previously discussed in the previous slide. And the membrane can be made up of a polymeric, biodegradable, lipid, protein, conjugated carriers, etc. And the dimension can be, as previously said, it can be macro, micron or nano. Coming to the role of nanotechnology in tissue engineering. Tissue engineering is an approach to treat patients who need a new organ or tissue with man-made organs or tissues. Tissues are engineered using a combination of a patient's own cells and polymer scaffolds. What is a scaffold? Scaffold is nothing but it provides structural support and shape to construct the tissues. It provides place for cell attachment and growth. They are generally biodegradable and biocompatible. Here you can see an overview of tissue engineering. First step is removal of cells from the body. Then expand the number of cells in the culture. Then seed onto an appropriate scaffold with suitable growth factor and cytokines. Then place it into a culture and re-implant the engineered tissue into the repair or the damaged site. So coming to the future of nanotechnology. As researchers, we aim to create nano devices that will help more in the diagnosis and to deliver the treatment separately. The goal is to create a single nano device that will do many things, which includes it assists in imaging inside the body. It helps to recognize precancerous or cancerous cells. It helps to release a drug that targets only those cells. And it helps to report back on the effectiveness of the treatment. Conclusion. It has been proved that nanotechnology is a promising area of scientific and technological advancement. In nanotechnology, big things are expected from really small things. For nanotechnology to prosper, there needs to be a true unification of science, which will require a multidisciplinary approach. It is expected that nanotechnology will change dentistry, healthcare, and human life more profoundly than many developments of the past. As a conclusion to this topic, I would like to say that nanotechnology is a brand new technology that has just begun. It is a revolutionary science that will change all what we knew before. The future that we were watching just in science fiction movies will in the near future be real. This new technology will first of all keep us healthy because of nanorobots that will repair every damage that we have in our body. Secondly, it will give scientists the ability to manipulate the combination of atoms in an object and to turn it into a lighter, stronger, and more durable object than before, just by using carbon nanotubes that are known to be 100 times more stronger than steel, and in addition to that they are very flexible. Thirdly, nanotechnology will give us an abundant energy because it will transform energy more effectively. These are the references. You can use this for your future if you need to clarify some doubts. And viewers, I have a couple of videos regarding nanorobots. We'll see those videos.
So this robot is designed inspired by nature. It has multiple legs, and these legs allowing the robot can carry very heavy load, or around 100 times of its own. And also, such legs allow the robot to overcross obstacles over 10 times higher of its own legs.
Hope these videos were interesting. I would like to conclude that biomedical nanotechnology is one of the emerging field of science which helps in improving human health and standard of living. From this session, you all would have got a basic idea regarding the various applications of nanotechnology in biomedical field, and still there are a lot more areas to explore. Thank you one and all.